A well-dressed group of Timberwolves as they made their way to the locker room. They love playing in front of their raucous home crowd. Welcome, everyone, and what a game we have for you tonight as we get set to bring you NBA action on 2K Sports. Along with Greg Anthony and Brent Berry and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan. Got one more great treat for you, folks. Joining us on our broadcast is Shams Charania. Shams, so great to have you with us. Thanks for taking the time to take a seat and join us here courtside.
Star-studded group, the pleasure is all mine. I appreciate you guys so very much for having me aboard.
Look at the smile on Brent Berry's face. He is thrilled to have you here courtside with us.
Absolutely. Super excited about it.
Here's a look at what's coming up for Toronto. On Monday, they'll face off against DeAndre Jordan and the Denver Nuggets. Then on Wednesday, they'll tip off a road trip in Charlotte where they'll take on the Hornets.
And that game against Sacramento, that one, the 7th on the season for them. The team's still looking to improve each time they take the floor.
Here are the 5 for the Raptors. Barnes and Pirtle make up the inside pair. Dick is out there with Emmanuel Quickly. And it's Abaji in at the 3. And for the Timberwolves, Edwards on the wing. He's joined by McDaniels. Julius Randle is out there with Rudy Gobert. And it's Conley in at the 1. Tip-off goes to Minnesota. So Shams, the Raptors finally traded their terrific wings, Pascal Siakam and OG Anunoby. We know how the other teams that got those players made out. New York and Indiana, they were terrific in helping those teams. How did the Raptors make out when all was said and done?
Both of those players were upcoming free agents. It was difficult to judge the trade market. But with that said, the Raptors were able to get draft picks plus young, exciting talent like Canadian R.J. Barrett and Emmanuel Quickly. But let's factor in the biggest key here. It's Scotty Barnes. He is their future. He's their untouchable. He's who that front office feels great about as their cornerstone moving forward.
Love Barnes. Love him.
He can take off from anywhere at any time. Edwards always a threat.
And the Raptors with possession. It's a 5-point game. A moment now to hear from our sideline reporter, Hall of Famer David Aldridge. David.
Thanks very much. I spoke briefly with Chris Finch. Coach had praise for one of the opponents tonight, the versatile Scotty Barnes. He told me Scotty's somebody that can do it all. He can score, pass, rebound, and defend multiple positions. That's rare for a player his age. So, Kevin, Scotty's still growing as a player.
Thank you, David. Here is Edwards after Toronto got the 3-pointer. Yes, that goes in. Edwards got his second bucket of the night. Shams, with as often as you've interacted with front offices all over the NBA, have you noticed any changes with how franchises operate with both the players and the media in that relationship and where it may be headed?
Everything has to be more specialized now in the organizations, but you're seeing true partnerships develop with teams and their players, especially their top players. The teams have to pay more attention now to data, to metrics than ever before. And the relationship between your top players in the organization, that is very, very important. And the teams that do a good job of managing relationships, of managing expectations, that is clearly what separates the elite teams with the bottom teams. And certainly players in today's generation are very, very polished when it comes to the media.
Oh, you framed that so well. Now, here's Quickly. Anthony Edwards unable to get his last shot to go in. Here's Dick. A miss that time. Would have put him up. Timberwolves have gone 3 of 4 from the field to start out the game. Here's Randle. Lays it up off the glass.
Well, Randle finding out some creative ways how to score on the inside, becoming smarter and more adept at doing so.
And Darko Rajakovic calls timeout. He's ready to talk things through with the team. The Timberwolves making a change here. DiVincenzo's checked in. Kelly Olynyk's checked in for the Raptors. Quickly the pass to Dick. His 3-pointers off the mark. Minnesota leading by 4. Edwards inside. Dick defending. DiVincenzo gets to Conley. For 3, Edwards hits the 3-point bomb. Edwards got 7. Well, we talked about expansion. That has been floated around. We know that teams would have to realign. Shams, any ideas on which teams might have to shift with expansion in the East or West?
Certainly, most of the potential expansion cities, the high-level ones, have been noted as teams in the West. Maybe you have a team out east that is in the West moving into the Eastern Conference. But the league could obviously surprise everyone with a different solution. Maybe having one expansion team be Eastern Conference team, one being a West. There's several options that Adam Silver and the NBA have.
I would think New Orleans would be one of those teams, right? Just where they are geographically. Memphis, those two teams are in the West, and I could see them maybe going east. Possible?
Certainly Minnesota and Memphis. Those are two teams that, to me, have an Eastern Conference feel.
Here's Olynyk. Anthony Edwards making his last shot. Just 4 to shoot. Here's Barnes. They can't stop the run with that one.
Those are chances almost always you can rely on him to get you 2 points, but the D just enough to keep him out of rhythm.
And they blow the whistle for a foul. He was trying to disrupt the fast break opportunity. Toronto shooting their first free throw attempt on the night.
And their free throw percentage as a unit last year, 76%, right around the middle of the road.
And that one falls for Olynyk.
Kelly Olynyk coming into the league as the league has shifted to the pace and space play, and Kelly more than capable as a 5-man of drilling the outside shot.
Looking at who's out there now for the Timberwolves. Naz Reid, he's checked in for Rudy Gobert. McDaniels comes in for Randall. And Nickeil Alexander-Walker in for Mike Conley. Here's Temple. Over Edwards. And the Raptors miss again.
Yeah, but the hand in the face, it's critical that you contest his shots every time down the floor.
Count the basket.
Really seizing the momentum of this game, but doing it with a methodical approach.
Well, how good have they been on the inside tonight, just getting down into the painted area and just dominating, controlling that spot.
Here's Mitchell. And he misses his first shot. Anthony Edwards has been leading the charge for the Minnesota Timberwolves. He comes away with 11 points in the quarter and is showing no signs of fatigue. And we'll be right back after this. And glad to have you with us, folks. Second quarter of basketball. This game has not exactly been neck and neck, but plenty of time left in this one. And let's take a moment here to get your guys' take on scoring so far for the Timberwolves.
Straight away, they've opened things up offensively with skillful passing, running smart plays, and just setting guys up for success.
Well, a lot of the players are doing a good job as well of scanning the interior part of the paint. All those inside looks, those are paying off.
Nickeil Alexander-Walker out there with Edwards. Then it's Jaden McDaniels. Then there's Dante DiVincenzo. And it's Reid in at the 5, home in the paint. That's the 5 to begin the second quarter for the Timberwolves. Here's Mitchell. Anthony Edwards making his last shot. Reid with the block. With a short break in the action gives us a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge.
Kevin, thank you very much. Jaden McDaniels has become an X factor for the Wolves. Mike Conley says, we know what he does defensively, but the offense that he can bring for us balances our unit. It's much needed. Guys tend not to think of him as an offensive player, but he does have that in his game. Kevin?
But I love the reference to an X factor. He definitely is that. All right, David, thank you. And the league continuing, Shams, to tweak the rules around replay review. But would you set a time limit to maybe tweak it a little bit?
Have to, right? Especially some of these games and the way they're ending. It's something to try. If you can't find a cause to really overturn in a minute or two, let's keep this game moving. I think we all love a free-flowing game.
I agree. They've been looking out of sync offensively.
Yeah, their offense has ground to a standstill.
And the timeout called by Darko Rajakovic. He wants a minute here to get things straightened out with his team. Joe Ingles, he's checked in for Minnesota. And Toronto also making a switch. Boucher is checked in. We're about a minute and a half into the second quarter now. And Joe Olynyk. Hey, Sean, for the past decade that you've been a major player in the NBA, it's been LeBron's league, it's been Curry's league. Who else is going to take over this league, you think, coming up around the corner?
Given the NBA Finals we just had, have to throw in Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Luka Doncic into the fold as far as faces of the NBA. But Nikola Jokic is so good. He will be one of the guys for a while. Giannis Antetokounmpo, you have to mention him as well. But ultimately, you have to also keep an eye on Victor Wembanyama, the way that Victor Wembanyama could take over the league. And already, so early, was so special. Victor Wembanyama is someone to keep an eye on.
Okay, they just passed a note down to me, our gang here. What about Anthony Edwards at Minnesota? He's another one, right? Young American player who is really making an impact.
Anthony Edwards, Devin Booker, you have to consider those two as well. And it's special, the crop of young players that we have coming up in this league. One of them is sure to emerge as this generation's, whether you want to call Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, there will be a face-off this week.
And we cannot wait. And Minnesota has possession. Raptors knocking down the tray. Good!
What a performance on the offensive end. He's making the defenders pay right now for all of the mistakes they're making.
Barnes outside. Here's Temple. Edwards defending. Temple dishes to Olynyk. And the dunk by Olynyk.
Yeah, he can surprise you around the rim. Olynyk has some lift.
DiVincenzo kicks to Edwards. And that'll be 2 free throws coming up. Officials on the call with the foul.
And I like the fact that the defense is looking to protect the rim at all costs.
First trip to the line for him here.
In their last contest, guys, he was unconscious from the foul line.
Looking at who's out there now for the Timberwolves. Gobert, he's checked in for Reed. Randall comes in for Joe Ingles. Daniels, he's checked in for Dante DiVincenzo. And it's Mike Conley in for Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Now, here's Quickly. Pass to Abaji. Barnes looking around. The three-pointer off the mark.
The edge on the glass is the difference. It's allowed them to build this lead.
And Shams, what an absolute delight it has been having you courtside with all of us tonight. Thank you so much for taking time to join us. It has been a true pleasure.
Thanks so much for the invite. I can't wait to do it again sometime. I'm honored. I'm privileged.
Oh, we are going to hold you to that. Thank you again. Oh, wasn't that wonderful? Easy to see why Shams has so many sources around the game. He's so easy to talk to.
Yeah, it's all about relationships at the end of the day. When the conversations come easily, that suits his purpose as a reporter. And checking out some numbers for Gobert. Last season, he played outstanding. Put up about 14 points per, 13 rebounds, and just over 2 blocks. And he really anchors them defensively with that tenacious play on that side of the ball.
He loves to get up into the uniform of his opposition and make you work for everything that you get offensively.
Now, here's Quickly. And that one is stuffed right through.
Well, light off his feet, quickly elevating with ease.
Timberwolves leading by 11. Over in the corner, Edwards. From 15 feet away, that's in there. Conley with the assist. Conley's got 3 assists in the game. And so Quickly will bring it up for the Raptors. They're coming off that win against Philadelphia.
Yeah, I think they prepared to face more defensive pressure, and that one didn't happen, and boy, they just rolled.
It took just a little bit of time, but once they figured out the D on that night, man, their offense was rolling.
Here's Pirtle. He's coming off a 19-point game against Philadelphia.
and also 4 blocks. I mean, just an important factor on both ends.
Agbaji can't get it to go. The Timberwolves have gone 6 of 9 in the second quarter. Some good work from the field. It's Edwards on the wing. 5-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. Shoots over Dick. It's hauled in by the Raptors.
D giving him that shot, and that's probably not a good idea, but I guess they knew what they were doing that time.
The Raptors shooting their second and third shots at the line right here.
Shooting 2.
A free throw drops for Quickly.
Really known as a microwave scorer, Quickly's fearlessness is what allows him to really get cooking.
And Quickly drops them both.
Well, when he gets into a groove at the free throw line, it doesn't just last for tonight. This might be 2 weeks, 2 months, something like that.
You know, I love how he absorbs the foul and still had a chance to knock that one down.
The Timberwolves shooting their third and fourth free throw shots of the night. The first one falls. And so Mike Conley nails both of them. Just 4 seconds left in the first half. Can't hit that one. And so it's Minnesota looking at a 13-point lead heading into the next quarter. And we'll see if they can keep up their tremendous shooting they've been dialed in so far from the field. And we'll be back with you shortly.
Thanks for tuning in. Welcome. A clinic in execution so far, as it's been a dominant showing for the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Offensively, they can post you, drive it, run cutters. They're living large in that painted area.
And the defense has tried to pack it in a little, but those guys just keep coming.
All right, fellas, let's now take a look at what's to come on the upcoming schedule.
Well, I think for the Raptors, you can already see they have the makings of a good team, but they also have things to iron out.
Splitting the first 2 games, this next one could indicate which direction they're headed. And that is a wrap. Now let's send you back to Kevin Harlan for the start of the third quarter.
And after a very lopsided first half, we'll see if things play out a little more evenly here in the second. You know, Anthony Edwards has been exceptional here, guys.
Definitely been challenging the defense here early on, not settling for anything outside.
And you want these kind of nights where you can start to see those openings before they happen.
And checking out the group for Darko Rajakovic to start the second half. Barnes and Pirtle make up the inside pair. Emmanuel quickly out there with Grady Dick. And it's Agbaji in at the 3 spot. It's his first trip to the line.
And you know, guys, he had a big game at the free throw line in their last outing.
Well, an all-star in year 3, Scotty Barnes, has been an immediate impact player. It is not easy to do.
We love young Scotty Barnes. He can shoot, he can defend, and he can really pass. Brent, he seems like the ideal wing.
There's a lot of things there, Kevin, that are very good. You don't become an all-star at that position without those kind of abilities. But the responsibility of playing winning basketball consistently, let's see how that plays out for Scotty moving forward.
And with the success they've had rebounding the basketball, they're right where you'd expect them to be, firmly in the driver's seat.
McDaniels kicks to Edwards. It's rebounded by Scotty Barnes. Raptors trail by 13. Quickly the pass to Barnes. Pirtle sets the pick for Barnes. And Barnes gets double teamed. Quickly with a wide open look. And it's off from 3-point range. Randall surveying the D. Gobert finds Conley. Nice ball movement by Minnesota. And here's Edwards from the arc. That's in there. Conley with the assist. Conley's got 4 assists now tonight.
And that corner pocket triple, terrific shot by Edwards from D.
And Darko Rajakovic calls timeout. He wants to talk to his guys. Well, while we have a second, let's go to the 2K leaderboard for a list of the league's top shooters from last season. Rudy Gobert is second.
Put the ball in the bucket. I mean, that's the name of the game, right? I mean, just ask him. He'll have the answer for you.
Just a little over 90 seconds gone in the third quarter. Dick passes to Pirtle. Rudy Gobert with the rebound. Gobert's got his 7th rebound here tonight.
And they start the second half with 3 straight misses.
Greg, you look at the great coaches. What are 1 or 2 of the most important qualities for success that you see?
Well, for me, Kevin, I think you got to be able to adapt tactically. I mean, that's huge, and especially in the playoffs. But most important, can you motivate and unify a locker room? That leadership quality is what really puts a coach over the top.
And while we've got a moment, let's send it over to our terrific reporter, David Aldridge. David?
Hey, Kevin, the NBA has split its draft into 2 days. The league's executive VP and head of operations, Joe Dumars, says rosters have expanded and we're seeing a larger influx of talent, a lot of times from the second round. This format will do justice to those slept-on players. Kevin?
Good stuff, D.A. Some Hall of Famers from that second round, for sure.
And all you got to do is look at the rebounding margin as to why they hold the lead.
Well, every time the shot goes up, guys are doing a nice job of finding bodies and making sure there's room to collect the rebound.
And it's good for 2.
Down the stretch, he's been flat out awesome. He helped them get the lead, and now he's making sure they keep it.
Recently, the Raptors made moves, Greg, to add some Canadian-born talent to their roster.
They traded for R.J. Barrett and Kelly Olynyk, 2 guys that represent Canada in international play, and were both born in Toronto, now playing for their hometown team.
Now, McDaniels, following the 3-point attempt by Scotty Barnes.
They are just killing them on the interior.
We've got 1:28 left in the third quarter. Quickly the pass to Barnes. Here's Abaji. Barnes outside. Pirtle with a screen on McDaniels. To the middle. And the dunk by Pirtle.
Pirtle's so reliable and solid in these pick and rolls. He knows exactly where to be.
And so Chris Finch calls for the timeout. Wants to talk some things over. Might be seeing some things to adjust. Big group substitution now for Minnesota. Reed, he's checked in for Rudy Gobert. Joe Ingles comes in for McDaniels. Dante DiVincenzo, he's checked in for Edwards. And Nickeil Alexander-Walker in for Mike Conley. Now, here's Ingles. Still without a basket. Randall with the bucket.
And everything is dropping for them. Terrific second half run.
Well, with the confidence growing, that's one thing, but they seem to be getting more intense, and that's helping the quality of their play here.
And here is Olynyk following Julius Randle's 3. And Olynyk kicks to quickly. Here's Boucher trying to answer back, but that 3 is off the mark.
And a big lead for them on both the scoreboard and the backboard thus far.
Ingles passes to Alexander Walker. Here's Randall. Yep, that one goes in there. Randall's got 5 points in the quarter.
Not a lot of resistance on the inside, and they're taking full advantage.
1 second separating the shot clock and game clock. Now, here's quickly. Defended by Alexander Walker. Stolen. And now the Timberwolves on the break. Ahead. Randall with the bucket. Randall's got 9.
Yeah, letting it rip. They're just having fun right now.
Yeah, some of these nights you got to enjoy yourself. Not too much at the expense of the other team, but right now this team is balling.
Anthony Edwards has been leading the charge for Minnesota. That quarter had to take a lot out of him. He racked up 12 points. Back to the action in just a minute. Here now a chance to show you our assist of the game, and it's presented as always by State Farm.
And he may not be known as a pass-first guy playing out of the two-guard spot, but he shows here that he can dole out an assist or two when he needs to.
Even though the position is called shooting guard, passing part of your responsibilities in today's game.
And as we head into the fourth, we'll see if there's a comeback in the works or if it's more of the same from the first three quarters. Miller is out there with Naz Reid. Then there's Dante DiVincenzo. Then it's Nickeil Alexander-Walker. And it's Ingles in at the small forward. So that's the lineup for Minnesota. Pass to Olynyk. Over Miller. Olynyk can't hit.
And that's really just not heads-up basketball. Don't try a fadeaway when nobody's guarding you.
Now DiVincenzo. Now here is Miller. From deep, Ingles. Nailed from three-point land. Ingles has got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for three. Fourth quarter just getting started. 1 minute in the books. Shot from free throw range. A tad short, but it's good off the front iron.
I mean, even he was surprised to be that open.
Minnesota's gone 2 for 2 from three-point land to start the fourth quarter. Alexander-Walker passes to Reid. Nice ball movement by Minnesota. A trend in the NBA, and one, Brent, that I like, new downtown arenas. They seem to be everywhere.
Well, Kevin, it's because you love to eat so much and the restaurants are nearby, so walking distance helps. But yeah, it invigorates the city. You have people clamoring to get to the arena, to get out of the offices early, and it really brings the community together. So you love to see that kind of energy and buzz around any NBA stadium.
Dillingham's checked in for Miller. Garrett Temple has checked in for the Raptors. Pass to Boucher. And here is Olynyk. Makes it off the glass.
And really, the improvement as a finisher is noticeable for Kelly Olynyk.
Minnesota's gone 7 of 9 on three-pointers tonight. Outstanding mark from long range. And it's Alexander-Walker in the corner. Here's Dillingham, covered by Mitchell. Dillingham with the bucket.
And this is how you want to come out of the half. Prolific and efficient.
Well, the thing is, they're controlling the pace right now, and if that was the mantra for them at halftime, they've carried it out.
Pass to Barnes. Three-pointer. Rebounded by the Timberwolves. Reed's got 4 rebounds now tonight. Alexander-Walker passes to Reid. And again, it's Minnesota converting.
Assists like that have typified their effort today. Terrific ball movement.
Barnes outside. Brent is a guy who has played with winning teams, been in terrific cultures, and currently in one with the Spurs. What do you think is more important? Team culture or raw talent?
Well, I believe in the culture carrying teams to a championship, but you can't do that without talent. So it's got to be a blend of both, Kevin, in order for your team to perform at its highest level. Culture comes first.
Both teams deciding to change it up. And the Timberwolves with possession. They're on a 12-4 run right now. Out to the right wing. Pass to Reid to the left side wing. Fires for 3. Traps in the tray.
And perimeter scoring, I have to imagine it was a topic of discussion at halftime.
Maybe trying to find a little bit more space and ball movement to get guys open at the three-point line.
Back to Quickly. Uses the glass to finish the layup.
All kinds of grit there on the inside from Emmanuel Quickly.
Minnesota's gotten off to a great start from three-point range in the final quarter. They're a perfect 3 of 3.
And one team is just completely outclassing the other tonight. Spirited performance, and it really ignited what is turning out to be a monster win here for Minnesota.
It was a standout performance across the board.
I mean, it was like watching a cat play with a mouse. They were able to do more or less whatever they wanted.
And so with this, they'll end up with their second win on the year.
And with the win approaching, they'll take the first game here of 2 that they'll play against this team. Nice to get that first one out of the way and set the tone.
And we watched one guy all night long, guys, and look at the stats just confirms what a dominant game he had. What a night tonight it was for Anthony Edwards.
Every time he shot it, it seemed like it was going to drop in. And if it didn't, everyone was surprised.
And that one's good, Barnes.
Look, it's always great to get into a rhythm, but do it when it matters.
Yeah, it's tough to mount a comeback like this and then fall oh so short. I'm sure that's weighing on them just a little bit.
Here's Shannon. And Pirtle pulls it down. 32 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Here's Dick, defended by DiVincenzo. Dick passes to Quickly. 6 to shoot. Takes a 3. It's good from long range.
You like Quickly's decision-making, that time calling his own number.
Now, Alexander Walker. Pass to DiVincenzo. And a miss there on the triple. So it's Minnesota winning this one easy, and the outcome of this one was never in doubt.
And boy, they really put in a supreme effort. It just felt like once they had that lead and it was comfortable, they were not going to relinquish it.
It's time now to go courtside as we send you over to David Aldridge from the sideline. David, take it away.
Thanks very much, Julius. Now look, you're banging in the paint, but what do you see from your backcourt?
They do a great job of, they obviously can score the ball, but getting us into things and running the offense very well and leading the team that way.
Well, they led you to a win tonight, Julius. Thank you for your time. Kevin?
Much appreciated, David. And that about wraps it up. For Greg Anthony, Brett Barry, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for watching the NBA, presented by 2K Sports. And now, we present the player of the game, Anthony Edwards.
Make your hell gaming.